Another case of abuse inside Harbor Oaks Hospital is leading to charges, and tonight the 7 investigators have obtained a report by state officials looking into the troubled psychiatric facility.
In fact, it's led to findings that one state official calls deeply concerning and new calls for state oversight. Here's 7 investigator Ross Jones.
She really struggles with just acceptance, and that's all she wants in life, is acceptance and friends.
Kathy Avery's daughter Kayla has struggled to fit in since she was born. For nearly all of her 21 years, she's battled a host of brain disorders, from Asperger's to obsessive-compulsive disorder to intermittent explosive disorder.
She can be physically aggressive, she can be harmful to herself and to others around her. She functions at a 9-year-old level, so to society that's wrong.
And in June, Kayla was getting worse, to the point where her therapist said she needed to be admitted to a psychiatric hospital. She was put on a waiting list for an open bed, and after sitting for 24 hours, she got a call that one had opened up.
They called me and they said Harbor Oaks had a bed available, and they said no thanks.
Kayla had been to Harbor Oaks Hospital before and didn't like the treatment she received. Her mom said she wanted to wait for a bed somewhere else to open.
And they said, well, you know, for her to sit here for a couple of days, she's not going to get medication, she's not going to get treatment that she needs. Let's give it a try.
So against her better judgment, Kayla's mom brought her here to Harbor Oaks Hospital. And after less than a week, she got a call. Kayla had been attacked.
There was a physical altercation between Kayla and another patient, and that Kayla had been hit in the face several times.
According to a nurse, the other patient lunged at Kayla, punching her 3 or 4 times in the face before having to be pulled off of her by other nurses. New Baltimore police turned the case over to the city attorney's office, and in July, they authorized a charge against the alleged assailant, making it at least the 4th case prosecuted out of Harbor Oaks since just last year.
We promise in law a lot of protections to people with severe mental illness, but in reality, on the ground, it breaks down too often.
Mark Reinstein is president of the Mental Health Association in Michigan. Prompted by our reporting, he met with state officials last year, urging them to investigate what's allowing repeated abuse to go on inside Harbor Oaks. Instead, the state chose to dig into how Harbor Oaks investigates itself, specifically how its recipient rights office handles complaints of abuse and neglect of patients. Some of the findings, Reinstein says, were frightening.
Who's watching them? How successful is the monitoring of them? And the answer would be, up till now, pretty pathetic.
Among the report's findings, that the number of complaints inside Harbor Oaks rose from 258 in fiscal year 2017 to 450 the next year. That when patients' rights were violated, only 21% of the cases reviewed by investigators led to any sort of required discipline, and that none of the complaints the state reviewed were investigated in a timely manner.
Something serious happened over there. We need to find out.
Including a complaint by this father, whose nonverbal son was treated at Harbor Oaks just last year. He took him home, only to find wounds and bruises the hospital never told him about.
I see a claw mark. After the claw mark, I see spots on his back everywhere. And then I take his pants off. The skin was like peeling.
State law says complaints need to be investigated within 90 days. But it's been more than a year, and this father is still waiting to find out what happened to his son. As a result of the hospital's repeated failures to police itself, the state recently recommended that they oversee Harbor Oaks' recipient rights office for 6 months.
We need answers. People's lives are at stake here.
Well, the director of Michigan's Department of Health and Human Services says he is deeply concerned by the findings of the state's probe into Harbor Oaks. His office is currently awaiting the hospital's response to its reports, and once they get it, they'll decide whether or not to begin overseeing the hospital's recipient rights office. As for Kayla and her mom, they both say they will never return to Harbor Oaks. And after what happened, you can't really blame either of them.
Oh, no, you can't. Glad she's okay, but...
Absolutely, and recovering for sure.
I mean, can the state just get it? I mean, they're going to wait for that report back, but when is enough enough? And when does the state say, hey, we're going to go in there, we're going to oversight?
That's a great question. We've been doing these stories for almost 2 years, and the state has done very little right now. So this is an opportunity that some are hoping they'll finally do more than what they've done.
Yeah, they deserve to be safe.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Ross.